What is up, you guys? It is Zach coming at you with another video. Now, today's video, we are going to be talking about Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Now, this game is coming out in literally, 2 days from now? And I, as well as many other Nintendo fans, are very excited for this game. Now, today, I really want to talk about why I'm so excited for this game to come out, and I think the possible implications it could have for future Nintendo titles. If you're excited for this game, or Nintendo games in general, then definitely do drop a like and subscribe, all that stuff down below, and of course, hit that notification bell so you can be notified of when I upload future content. Also, do keep in mind that when this game comes out, I will be live streaming it. It seems like, based on a poll I put up, most people want me to live stream it on Friday. So, I will be live streaming this game during the day at some point on Friday, May 24th, I believe the date is. Probably somewhere between noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Daylight Time, whichever it is right now. So, stay tuned for that. But without any further ado, let's get on to the main points I'm really excited about for this game. So, as you guys can see here, I actually do own a copy of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door on the Nintendo GameCube. So, it's not like I don't have this game, it's not like it's not available to me, it's not like, it's too expensive for me to get. I already have it. So, me being excited for this game is purely because of, a lot of different factors. The first one being the visual upgrade. Looking at the trailers for this game and comparing it to the original game is just night and day. You see so many different improvements, whether it be with the environments being a little more vibrant, looking a little better, or having way better freaking lighting. Like, there's so much in the game visually that looks better. You also have the upgraded soundtrack that takes more of a page out of the Origami King's book. Or if you don't like the upgraded soundtrack, you can go back to the original game soundtrack if that's what you prefer. So, you have options, which is always good. And not to mention, you can take Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door on the go. Being able to take this game wherever you want, play it on a plane, play it on a boat, play it on a bus, play it in bed, in handheld mode, play it on the TV if you want. You can play this game however you want. And I feel like having more of Nintendo's older catalog available for you to do that with is just amazing. Because for me, I play my Switch in handheld mode most of the time. I'm always moving, I'm always doing something, so being able to play a game like Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door when I'm literally anywhere and everywhere, it's going to be so amazing. I cannot wait. Everything about this game is just a proper upgrade over the original, and I'm very, very excited for it. Secondly, and this is a big point as well, is this does show and prove something. Now, I know people are going to call me a Nintendo fanboy for making this point, but if you call me a Nintendo fanboy, then you actually don't know me at all, so you can't comment that, in my personal opinion. But this shows that Nintendo does sometimes listen to what the fans want. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is probably one of Nintendo's most requested games to get a remaster, remake, whatever. It's the game that most people wanted back. There were petitions, YouTube videos asking for it, all that stuff. I feel like it can't be overstated how big of a deal this actually is, because I feel like for this, if it wasn't for the fans outcrying for it, the fans really, really wanting it, I don't think we'd be getting this remake, remaster. I don't think we'd be getting it. So, the fact that it's even happening at all is a great thing. And this is where I'm honestly just calling upon Mario fans in general. This will tie into the next point I have to make. If this game sells well, if this game sells, I think the baseline is we want it to sell more than the Origami King. We don't need it to hit 10 million or a certain amount of million. We just need it to pass the Origami King to really show Nintendo that this is the kind of Paper Mario game that we want a sequel to now. Every game from Super Paper Mario onwards has not been a true sequel to the Thousand-Year Door and the original. So, showing Nintendo that this is what the fans would like another sequel to after 20 years, it would just open Nintendo's eyes to what I feel like a lot of Nintendo fans want. Now, I could be off base. Maybe Paper Mario fans have moved on from the Thousand Year Door, and it's just a vocal minority that just love the Thousand Year Door. Completely possible. But, I mean, personally, I love the Thousand Year Door. I haven't played it in years, to be honest, but I really love the simpler style of the Thousand Year Door. Which actually brings me to my next point. Paper Mario the Origami King. I played this game a while ago, it's been a few years, and it has its strong points. It looks great, the writing's really good as usual, there's a little more story and a little more character than some of the past entries, particularly Sticker Star in my opinion. But the problem being that I did not care for the battle system at all. And it's unfortunate because the battle system is kind of like the big part of the game. It's about how you fight enemies and fight bosses. Like, it's an integral part of the gameplay, and I just thought it was a complete miss. So I think having the original style game, you know, the old school style with the new school style, I do feel like it also just adds more variety. One game I see people talk a lot of crap about is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, because of the fact that they're too old school. They rely too much on being, you know, like the older games. But give those games credits to the fact that they're the only ones of their kind on the Nintendo Switch. I feel like there's never a problem with variety as long as the variety is good. Because some people might not like a particular thing, you know? Some people don't like the style of Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl and prefer the Sword and Shield art style. Well, they still have the Sword and Shield art style, but the people who like that older style Pokemon game where it's a little more chibi, a little more, you know, old school, now they have a game that they can tie to themselves to and like. So kind of same thing here. If you like the newer style Paper Mario games, the Origami King is going to be the one you probably like more. But if you don't care for this newer style Paper Mario, like I really don't, now we have the Thousand Year Door, and it's so refreshing to have, you know, the old style back, which is kind of ironic to say it's refreshing to have something old, but like I said, this kind of Paper Mario game hasn't been around in 20 years, so it's going to be nice, and I do feel like it's going to make the Paper Mario series better for giving that variety on this generation of consoles. I don't know how much that made sense, but it made sense in my head, so hopefully that made sense to you guys. This next point ties into the point I made a couple, minutes ago about the fact that this game selling well is on Nintendo fans so that we can get more games like it. I feel like the sales of Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door have more implications than many people may think. Well, thankfully, Super Mario RPG, the remake, I think sold decently well. It didn't sell like a billion units, but it sold decently well what it needed to. I feel like if Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door sells well, it'll show Nintendo more so what we want as fans in terms of how they craft their games. And this is mostly particularly towards Mario games. Mario games mostly operate on a formula. Since Mario is kind of their flagship franchise, they want it to be very marketable. So they don't really take too many risks in terms of unique character designs because they want everyone to look at, let's say, a Koopa Troopa and recognize, oh, that's a Koopa Troopa from Super Mario Bros. So they try to avoid using other designs that don't really fit the vibe of what Koopa Troopas are and what Mario is going for nowadays. Of course, not all Mario games follow this formula. This is particularly like a new Super Mario Bros. Or a Mario spin-off games kind of thing. But I feel like it stifled a lot of Nintendo creativity. I did a whole video about this. Actually, I think it was when Origami King was announced. That would have been 2-3 years ago, or 4 years ago maybe now. God, that's so long ago. Where I feel like Paper Mario, I called it the Paper Mario effect because it kind of started with Sticker Star and kind of evolved and kind of grew and encompassed other series as well. I feel like Nintendo don't do too much outside of the box with Mario sometimes. Look at Luigi's Mansion, right? They play it very safe. They use goofy ghost designs. They don't do too much with them. They don't really do anything spooky with Luigi's Mansion anymore. It's very childish, kid-friendly. Not saying Luigi's Mansion should not be a kid-friendly experience, but it should have a little more of an atmosphere and a tone because of the setting it's in. And then you have Paper Mario that kind of plays it safe in terms of the character designs. Now, Origami King did a little bit more to experiment, but before then, it was just like Koopa Troopas, Toads, Goombas, Kamek. Nothing unique, nothing interesting. It was all just the same enemies and same characters all in the same locations, and they didn't do anything unique with them. So I feel like with this game, if it does sell well, it'll show Nintendo that we do like to have unique character designs. We do like to have more atmosphere in these Mario side games. Not saying that Origami King didn't have its atmosphere and its tonal shifts, because it did, but that's something we heavily want out of an RPG, out of a Mario RPG, and they should focus more on it. And if this game does sell well, I hope Nintendo does keep a note of that, because I do want each of Mario's subtitles to stand out from one another and not feel too samey and not feel too formulaic. You know, they have to feel unique. And hopefully with this game hopefully selling well, it could happen. The last point I want to make on this, and this is going to sound maybe a little bit melodramatic, whatever, but I am happy that this year we're focusing on remasters and remakes, less so on newer games, because obviously that means they're focusing on Switch 2, whatever, but bringing something like Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door back, not only is it great for the fans who have been requesting it for years, but it's also great because you're going to introduce a whole new generation of players who did not grow up with a GameCube. You know, people are going to experience this game for the first time. And, you know, whether they like it or don't like it, if they prefer this or prefer Origami King or the newer styles Paper Mario games, it's going to be back in discussion again. We're going to be talking about Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door and that style of game as if it's in the present, because it is again. So I'm very excited at the prospect of this game coming back. I'm interested to see how it's received among critics. I have a feeling that when this video goes up is when a lot of the reviews will go up, because it'll be going up 2 days before the game comes out. So I'm assuming there'll be reviews on it, and if it's received as well as I think it'll probably be, I have a feeling we're in for a really good ride. And I hope that Nintendo takes the potential success of this game and runs with it. And that's all I gotta say. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff down below. And hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified of when I upload videos. And until next time, you guys, I'll see you all in the next video.